The father's role in the development of his child's emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage one's own emotions, as well as being able to perceive and influence the emotions of others. It is one of the most important components for personal and professional success, as it directly impacts how a person handles relationships, makes decisions, and faces life's challenges. The father's role in the development of his child's emotional intelligence is fundamental. While the mother often takes on the primary caregiver role, the father is a key figure for teaching a child how to deal with emotions in a healthy way, develop empathy, and resolve conflicts in a balanced manner. A father has the opportunity to be a role model of emotional self-control, understanding, and empathy, profoundly influencing how his child faces the emotional world around them. In this piece, we will explore how fathers can contribute to their children's emotional development, providing the necessary tools for them to become emotionally intelligent and successful adults in their relationships and daily challenges. The father as a model of emotional self-control. The first and most important lesson for the development of a child's emotional intelligence is emotional self-control. Children learn primarily by example. This means that a father's behavior, how he handles stress, frustration, and other feelings will be reflected in his child's actions. The father who practices emotional self-control, avoiding impulsive reactions and demonstrating self-awareness in challenging situations, teaches his child how to manage their own emotions effectively. For example, when a father faces a difficult situation, like a setback at work or a disagreement with another person, he can show his child how to take a deep breath, reflect before acting, and make more rational decisions. This type of modeling gives a child the confidence that, regardless of the emotions that arise, it is possible to maintain control and react in a thoughtful way. Fathers who show self-control also teach their children not to be dominated by their feelings, which helps prevent impulsive reactions like uncontrolled anger or excessive sadness. In addition, they teach how to handle emotional discomfort in a healthy way, preventing the child from feeling incapable or helpless in moments of difficulty. Teaching a child to deal with frustration and failure. Life is full of challenging moments, and often, how we deal with frustration and failure determines our emotional resilience. Fathers especially play a crucial role in teaching their children how to handle these feelings in a healthy way. A father can be the figure who teaches how to accept failures as part of the learning process and to maintain perseverance even when things don't go as expected. For example, if a child fails at a task or loses a competition, a father can use these moments to validate the child's emotions, like sadness or frustration, but also to teach the importance of trying again and learning from the experience. Instead of simply consoling them, a father can help the child reflect on what could be done differently next time, developing not only the ability to deal with frustration, but also the skill of finding solutions. By demonstrating that failure is not the end but an opportunity to grow and improve, a father helps build a mindset of resilience, where a child feels capable of facing challenges without losing confidence in themselves. Promoting empathy. How to teach a child to understand the feelings of others. Empathy is one of the pillars of emotional intelligence. Teaching a child to understand the feelings of others and to react with compassion is fundamental for creating healthy relationships, both in childhood and in adult life. A father, as an important figure in his child's life, can be an excellent model of empathy by demonstrating attention and understanding towards the feelings of others. A father can teach his child to put themselves in another's shoes by showing empathy in daily interactions. When a child sees their father treating others with respect, understanding, and patience, they learn to value the feelings of others. For example, when interacting with a friend or colleague at work, a father can show understanding when someone is going through difficulties or when helping his child resolve a conflict with a friend by teaching the importance of listening and understanding the other's perspective. Promoting empathy also involves teaching a child to deal with emotional pain constructively, helping them understand that validating the feelings of others doesn't mean taking on their pain as one's own, but offering support and solidarity. Effective communication. The father's role in teaching emotional expression. One of the most valuable skills that parents can teach their children is emotional communication. Teaching a child to express their feelings in a clear and healthy way is essential for the development of emotional intelligence. A father has the opportunity to be a role model of open emotional expression and honest communication, showing his child that there is no shame in expressing feelings, whether they are of joy, anger, sadness, or frustration. Fathers can create an environment where a child feels comfortable talking about what they are feeling without fear of being judged. This is done by validating their emotions, instead of simply minimizing or ignoring what the child is going through. When a father sits down with his child and talks about how they feel, what they are thinking, and how they want to react in an emotional situation, he teaches them to express their emotions constructively, without fear of repression or emotional outbursts. This environment of open communication helps a child understand that healthy emotional expression is a natural part of life and an effective way to deal with emotional challenges. Teaching a child to communicate effectively also prepares them for healthy relationships in the future, with the ability to express feelings and listen to others in a respectful way. Establishing emotional boundaries. How to teach them to deal with emotions in a healthy way. Part of the development of emotional intelligence is learning to establish emotional boundaries and understand when and how to manage one's own emotions. A father plays an important role in this process, teaching a child to recognize their feelings but also to understand when they need to be controlled. For example, if a child is angry or frustrated because of a situation, a father can teach them how to stop, breathe, and reflect before reacting impulsively. Teaching a child to identify emotional signals and to set healthy limits on their emotional response helps to avoid harmful behaviors such as angry outbursts or excessive isolation. At the same time, teaching a child to deal with their emotions in a healthy way involves validating their feelings, but also helping them realize that we cannot allow our emotions to dominate our actions. This helps a child make more balanced decisions, act in a controlled manner, and have a more positive and mature attitude towards the emotional challenges they will face throughout life. The importance of teaching them to deal with anxiety and stress. Anxiety and stress are realities that are inevitably part of life. As a father, you have the opportunity to teach your child how to handle these emotions in a healthy way from an early age. Teaching a child techniques for relaxing, such as deep breathing or practicing meditation, helps to prepare them for the average emotional challenges throughout their life. By remaining calm and balanced in stressful moments, a father serves as a role model. Teaching a child that in moments of pressure, it's important to take a deep breath, focus on the present moment, and look for practical solutions contributes to the development of a more resilient mindset. Additionally, helping a child identify what causes stress and how to avoid situations of emotional overload contributes to the building of prevention and self-care skills. This creates an important foundation for lasting emotional balance, which will help a child face future situations with more confidence and less anxiety. The impact of fatherhood on a child's development of self-awareness. Self-awareness is the ability to understand one's own feelings, emotions, and behaviors. Teaching a child to know themselves, to understand how their emotions affect their behavior and decisions, is a fundamental step for the development of emotional intelligence. Fathers who dialogue openly about their own emotions and who expose their vulnerabilities help a child understand that knowing oneself is not something to be feared, but rather a practice of self-care and personal growth. A father can help his child identify emotions and verbalize feelings, allowing them to be more conscious of their emotional reactions. This self-awareness strengthens self-esteem and self-confidence and teaches a child that their emotions are valid, but can also be understood and controlled. This allows them to make more balanced and healthy decisions in life. How to teach a child to deal with guilt and regret. In a world where we are constantly challenged and exposed to criticism, learning to deal with guilt and regret is essential for emotional intelligence. Parents, especially fathers, can help their children understand how these feelings can be constructive, rather than paralyzing. When a child makes a mistake, a father should validate their emotions and help them reflect on what happened. However, the most important thing is to teach that guilt should not be carried as a constant emotional burden. Regret is a chance to learn and improve, and healthy guilt can be a trigger for personal growth. Teaching a child that making mistakes is part of the learning process, and that taking responsibility for one's own actions is the path to reparation and emotional growth, helps to avoid destructive feelings of self-judgment and excessive self-criticism. The father's influence on his child's emotional regulation. The ability to regulate one's own emotions is one of the most important characteristics of emotional intelligence. A father plays a vital role in helping his child learn how to manage their emotions in a balanced way. This includes teaching a child how to deal with anger, fear, anxiety, and even intense happiness in a way that doesn't harm others or interfere with their responsibilities. For example, when a child is angry or frustrated, a father can show the child how to stop and reflect before reacting impulsively. Simple techniques, such as deep breathing or counting to 10, help a child calm their mind and control their emotional reaction. A father should also demonstrate balanced emotional responses in his own interactions, modeling the desired behavior. Emotional regulation is not about suppressing feelings, but about finding healthy ways to express and control them, so that a child learns to stay centered, even in the face of emotional adversity. Building healthy relationships. The father's role in teaching empathy and respect. One of the greatest emotional legacies a father can leave for his child is teaching them how to build and maintain healthy relationships. Empathy and respect are central values for a child to learn how to deal with other people in a balanced and respectful way. A father has a fundamental role in showing through his own actions what it means to treat others with dignity, respect differences, and care about the well-being of others. By demonstrating empathy in daily situations, such as listening to others without judgment, a father teaches his child that active listening and emotional understanding are fundamental for success in relationships. Furthermore, modeling respectful behaviors and rehearsing open conversations about the importance of respecting the feelings and boundaries of others helps a child to value the building of healthy relationships, whether with friends, colleagues, or romantic partners in the future. The father's role in the development of his child's emotional intelligence. The development of emotional intelligence is fundamental to a child's success and well-being, and a father plays a crucial role in this process. From emotional self-control to teaching empathy and emotional regulation, fathers are the first role models for children to learn how to deal with their emotions in a healthy and effective way. Parenthood is a continuous journey of teaching, guiding, and exemplifying balanced emotional behaviors, preparing children to become emotionally intelligent and successful adults in their personal and professional relationships. By being a model of self-awareness and emotional resilience, a father helps build a legacy of emotional intelligence that will impact his child throughout their life. How have you been contributing to your child's emotional development? What strategies do you use to teach self-control, empathy, and healthy emotional expression? Share your stories and tips in the comments and inspire other fathers to raise emotionally balanced children. If you believe that emotional intelligence is the key to your children's success, subscribe to the channel and continue this journey with us. Let's strengthen fatherhood and ensure our children become emotionally intelligent, resilient, and ready to face the world with confidence.